at this.
Right.
So um that we from Bennettsville. I'm from Bennettsville, South Carolina. Well, at some point he must enter Fort Mill, South Carolina.
Okay.
Okay, well, the task force had to apprehend because at this point it's more like you actually eluding law enforcement.
Yeah, he wasn't coming to turn himself in or
Right,
coming to
right,
take.
right, right.
Yeah.
So okay, so that the that the task force apprehended him, they went and picked him up and brought him back. I'm bothered because they got him charged with manslaughter.
Hmm.
You actually killed my baby
Right.
because considering that it was blood, she was already injured right at 5 o'clock a.m. He
Right.
didn't drop her off to her friends until like 10:33. So she was injured for over 5 hours before she even yes. And the store surveillance got her wearing a particular clothing, but those are in the same clothes she got to the hospital in, where they changed her clothes before they took her to anybody.
That's wild.
No, girl.
That's wild.
So, okay, here it is. Bond hearing time. Um, I think the bond hearing was last Wednesday. My my first call was around 9 o'clock to inform me that it was going to be a bond hearing at 2 p.m. I said
Hmm.
fine. I think I had to be to work like 10:30. Okay, went on here to work. I was like, I just get off early.
Hmm.
Well, maybe an hour into me getting to work, I got another phone call. The bond hearing changed from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Okay, so that was maybe right around 11:30. By 12:30, I get another phone call. The bond hearing changed from 3 o'clock to 2:30.
Why they changing the time so much?
Wait a minute. Hold on. So, um, I was like bumping. I'm gonna just get off of work at 1:30 because actually it was my intentions to get off at 2:30. That the bond hearing was at 3 o'clock. Okay,
Hmm.
well I got off at 1:30, thinking the bond hearing was gonna be at 2. So by the time I could clock out and wait for a ride to come pick me up from work,
Yeah.
it, speaking to my daughter on the phone, she was like, "Mama, I'm on my way to come get you, and I know you might be mad, but the bond hearing changed back to 3 o'clock now." I was like, you know what? That's fine. I was like, because I was going to wear my work uniform to court. I was like,
Yeah.
that'll give me time to go home and change. That's fine. Okay. Upon arrival, I got a two-piece jogging suit, which her face is plastered over the
Hmm.
pants and shirt. Well, my daughter, she had on her sweatshirt. So, upon, well, it was a bond hearing in front of our bond hearing. So we was waiting till that bond hearing was over.
Hmm.
Well, someone in the front part of the sheriff department said that we had to cover up our attire. Yeah, and I got kind of upset. So one of the deputies came out. She was like, I never heard of no such thing before in my life.
Never.
So she was like, we come around through. She took us through the back. She was like, I'm gonna take y'all through the back entrance, and we gonna see what this is about. Well, we went in through the back. Well, that was my immediate family, but her father immediate family was still in the front part of the sheriff department. Well,
Mm-hmm.
another judge came in like 5 minutes to three, spoke to the subject mother, and they changed judges for the bond hearing.
I'm gonna say, why they speaking to his mom?
Right. Once again, what would, like, even if it was something personal,
Yeah,
it was very disrespectful and very unprofessional.
yeah.
And once again, I feel like it's a conflict of interest because she also worked for the government, because she worked within the prison system. I'm
Uh,
from this small town. Everybody know everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, and they do have, because I think the such a great aunt is on city council.
Mm,
They let the great aunt come in for the bond hearing on his behalf, but they didn't let my sister, which is her aunt, come in on my daughter's behalf for the bond hearing.
they only let two people down here in Columbia. Two
Uh, uh,
people.
uh,
That's it.
and so, um, like I said, while waiting for everybody to come into court, the judge do come in 5 minutes till three. So
Mm-hmm.
is that why the time kept flip flocking?
Right.
Okay, so the judge did talk to the subject mother before he went up on the podium.
So he talked to the mom off record. So it wasn't even on record with the court, right?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's a little shaky though.
No, that's real shaky. That ain't a lot real shaky. That's big shaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the judge that did the bond hearing before ours came up,
Mm-hmm.
she was doing a bond hearing for a person for accessory before or after the fact, and the actual person that they got charged with the murder.
Mm-hmm.
Why she couldn't do that bond hearing, what would be any different from manslaughter and a murder, that the previous judge couldn't do a bond hearing on him?
Mm.
He the only person out of the bond hearings that day that actually got a bond. I'm trying to figure out. You eluded the police. That's why the task force apprehended you.
Right.
How would that make you even eligible for a bond?
It's the charge itself though. See, murder probably wouldn't have got one. But that manslaughter a little different than depend on his history. And I don't know, like I haven't really looked
You
at the case.
see,
Just you
you
know,
see,
my
even
cousin my cousin
he.
was murdered last year,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it's similar situation, domestic situation. And I just remember the stuff they was telling us about certain things. So that's why I'm saying that could be why. But
But I could
that's
understand. I could understand the manslaughter and capability of getting a bond.
yeah,
But if you eluded police's in order for task force to have to apprehend you.
yeah. So let me ask you this about that, right? Was he
Mhm.
officially charged then, or was they just looking to talk to him?
No, they was just he didn't. Well, he pretty much. I'm really feeling like he knew that they had charges for him. They just needed him to come in. You was lying to authorities because you told them that you
Yeah.
was out on the road with somebody, when actuality you went and got a job. So you still was, you still was lying to authorities.
The whole thing is like
Right. And girl,
it's like
like,
a
and
lot.
then they and I know I didn't skill some, because like
That's
I got
cool. That's cool. Look,
so.
you gave us. I'm gonna say this. You gave us enough to understand from your point of view, what's going on? Because even me, I'm over here like that don't sound right, and
No,
you
girl,
know
I'm
that.
like,
So we can definitely, like I said, like whatever you don't get to this time, we can run it back again.
yeah,
But
yes, yes,
I feel like the people definitely need to hear from the family's point of view, like what y'all going through
right,
with this. Because, like I said, I didn't
right.
even come across it until a couple weeks ago, and I'm glad y'all reached out to me because I was just like, dang, I didn't know this story was that, deep,
Yes, and
you
like I
know?
said, like even to the point when they was like, how do we got a sheriff and a chief of police and everybody confused of jurisdiction?
Right. That should now that's
And
because
like
if
I
it's not that
said,
big out there, how you not know if
they
it's yours?
how do the police department have this case for over a month with no charges, and the sheriff department waiting to get the authority to get to get over the charge, but they already got charges. What happened or what's different?
So the original, because I've been getting confused between which is which, but the original police that had it, that was the county,
No, the original police was the
the
city
city,
that had it. Yeah.
and that's the one that has like a family tie to the.
Right, right,
Okay,
right, right,
so it
right,
do sound shaky for real when you put all that together, and then why y'all? It's like they was dragging their
right,
feet.
right. Like, how do y'all not have charges in over a month?
So what
And
made it? So I know, was it did they send it over to the county because of the family's request, or was their case from the start?
I make it make sense. And by law,
Yeah.
even though we got a city and a sheriff department, the county, the sheriff department is over everybody because remember, Bennettsville is within the county of Marlboro.
Mm. I never
So
been
the
up
county,
there. So okay, you tell me something because I didn't know that. Okay.
right? So even though the city maybe took on it, or it was, because that's where the she was first identified as being injured was within the city limits, but
Oh, okay.
overall the majority of the stuff happened within the county roads.
Got you.
Okay, so I was lost about that because if the city had this case for over a month and some change, in his statement, he stated that after she jumped out of the car,
Mm-hmm.
he put her back in the car, went home, went to sleep. When he woke up, she wouldn't wake up, so he put her back in the car. And that's when the three stops came in
Mm.
that residential area. And one of the houses would have been his aunt, because from my understanding and the information I'm getting, the aunt son was one of the people that helped change her clothes.
Changing her clothes is
Yeah,
the part
yes,
that
they changed.
what?
They changed her clothes. Cause remember, anybody that jumped out of a moving vehicle, and from my understanding and from his statement, he was going down the road about 50 miles per hour when she jumped out of the car. But she ain't got no road rash. The clothes that she had on at the hospital ain't have no kind of that
Like
it
you
was.
doing too much for it to be an accident, cause like that's like cleaning up a crime, ain't it? By changing
Yeah,
her
yeah,
clothes.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But right now, I'm not even seeing like, I just like I'm going through every chain that I know of, because I never been a person that being in trouble. So I really don't really too much know anything about the law procedures, what was what.
Right.
etc. But I know I'm not crazy and don't none of this stuff add up.
And
Ain't
no
no
additional charges been filed against nobody else.
right. And from the within the report, the mama gave a statement.
Mm-hmm.
She's a government worker.
Yeah.
It's their job to render aid or check on a person if they feel. And she did agree that she seen my daughter slumped over in a car, but they said that she was messed up off of a pill. So if she slumped over in a car, messed up from a pill, how after then she had enough energy to jump out of her car? But you just said that she was slumped over. Okay, you got tinted windows on your car. Your from your house window to where your car is parked at in your driveway.
Right.
You gotta have some laser eyes
I'm
to
about to say
see
X-ray vision.
right. Unless without a doubt you walked up to that car and seen my daughter.
Or he had a door open and you was able to see through it, through the
No,
door. Something.
no, because her house sit on about an acre and a half of land or better,
Mm.
and they got like a double parking lot, a double car parking
Oh.
spot. The house is facing the road. Y'all park on the side of the house.
Oh yeah.
I,
Okay.
and
Okay.
remember, this 4:30 in the this like no, because she said 4 o'clock. How was she slumped over at 4 o'clock, but she had enough energy to run inside of the store around 4:30? Make it make sense, right?
And
So I'm
then, because you say your mom heard a man saying,
right,
get in the
right,
car.
right,
So
right,
he wouldn't have had to told her that. He could have just put her in the car.
right,
Obviously, she, was like, yeah, that don't make sense.
right. And remember, this is like right at 5 o'clock. So how you say she was slumped over in a car at 4 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
when at between it was after 4 a.m. where she was in the store. It was after 4 a.m. So how she slumped over in a car at your house at 4 o'clock, but she in perfect health. Ain't
At
nothing wrong with
4:30.
her. Ain't nothing wrong with her from her running inside of the store to her getting dropped off back at my mama house that morning.
Yeah.
So why was she slumped over? And they said she took a pill at 4 o'clock, but she in perfect energy, health, no nothing. Matter of fact, she wasn't even wounded in the video at the store.
Mm.
So how and that was after 4 a.m. that morning. So how do your mama see her at 4 o'clock slumped over?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Mm.
like, what? Why is her lies ain't adding up? So why would she be lying? Why would she have told such of a lie?
And Sled still hasn't stepped in, has they? Have they?
Who?
Sled. Have they ever stepped
Well,
in?
no, but no, because remember, I requested that around January 15th. I haven't
Because
talked
it
to
sounds
Sled.
like they need to.
And I need any kind of help. I need any kind of help. I need anybody. I need any kind of help because I know without a doubt it was a lot of stuff done and it was done wrong.
Yeah.
And y'all, they will have to prove to me that it wasn't done wrong because of conflict of interest. Because if that's the case, you don't need to be chief of police and it was your lead detective that came to the hospital. Neither one of y'all don't need no job. If y'all and right now, my daughter cause of death is blunt force trauma to the head, and it's two wounds sitting side by side to the back of her head. So if she jumped out of a car going 50 miles per hour, what's wrong? Why she ain't got no road rash? And it was some evidence I seen. She had straight. She no, it wasn't even scrapes. It was more like a scab, but it was a scab on all four of her toes and all eight of her toes and all eight of her fingers. But remember, she jumped out of the car. Ain't nowhere in the world everything is the injuries is accurate across her knuckles, and they ain't even no rashes. They like scabs, like a scab, like
Yeah.
you hit something, like you maybe hit something across your hand or something, and that it knocked a little piece of scab off. When the scab come back, it just got
Yeah.
a little hard piece of scab. But that was all the way across her knuckles on all eight of her fingers, but not her thumb. She didn't have no kind of road rash. Matter of fact, her clothes when she got to the hospital wasn't even drenched in blood.
So, did they ever find the clothes they took off of her? Or
No, but
and I
they
ain't
can't. But they
know.
do know that what she had on in that store video ain't what she had on at the hospital.
Right.
And then to make it even worse, I had to take her clothes to the police department. They didn't even take the evidence from the hospital to the police
What?
department. I had to take her stuff to the police department.
Yeah, somebody definitely dropped the ball just from just hearing it.
Yeah,
Some it just don't add up.
no, don't nothing add up. And that I really feel like all these ties into the law.
Hmm.
Did anybody construct this that they know that this is what would throw a case off that
Right.
y'all have knowledge of?
So let me ask you this: did the coroner say what could have caused the
That's
injury to her head?
right now. I don't even have a death certificate for her right now. I still don't even have
Mm.
a death certificate
Because I was
because
about to say,
that,
shoot, could they say if it was the gun or not that he hit her
uh,
with? Possibly.
they can't say because remember he got the gun back. Where the gun at now?
That's what I'm saying. That's
And not only that, like say that they said, like in his statement, in his written statement from the city of Bennettsville, that he went home and went to sleep. His home is in the county. What county agent went and investigated that house?
mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, right. I'm not like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not crazy, and
All
I
right.
don't none of this stuff add up, and I don't know, like because this something I never had to deal with.
Right.
So I just been searching and looking for advice, in a legal advice, legal assistance, legal help, because I do know I need some. Because
Oh,
it's a lot of stuff
yeah.
that need to be addressed and these people held accountable for these actions.
Exactly. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna definitely break this down. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna get my people to share it. If somebody listening can got some resources, I make sure they contact me. I got your contact, send it to you. Cause yeah, I ain't
Please.
gonna lie. I don't have like, I ain't no lawyer or nothing, but just
Right.
from
Well,
listening to the
I
story,
me neither. But
but just
common
listening to
sense,
the
and
story,
I'm
it
not
ain't sounding
crazy. Right.
right.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah, it ain't sounding right. Like,
No, no, it ain't right. It ain't
but
never
I
mind
feel
sound
like
right.
SLED should step in though. I really feel like SLED should be that agency to step in because
Well, I just airdropped my own packet to them
mhm.
this week because at this point, this shit
I'm
is about to,
gonna send an
excuse my
email
French,
of
but this shit is
inquiry.
about to kill me. This
I'm
thing
gonna
is
send an
about,
email inquire to SLED and just ask, like, what is the protocol for a situation like this in regards to this story? Because it seemed like they should have stepped in back in December.
But but do they know the actuality of this incident, or did they just come off of the fact that they needed them for forensics?
See, when you can see, as far as with FOIA in this state, when you submit one, they got to give you a reason to either why they can't answer your question or give you an answer to your question. So I'm just gonna ask, because I'm like, at this point, it's like, if you weren't called in, then that's crazy, because you requested to talk to them about your daughter's case.
Right.
So that
Exactly.
means you were lied to
Exactly.
in that aspect. If they
Right.
were called in and it didn't fit the criteria for them taking over, then why didn't it fit? They should be able to provide that one way or the
And
other.
even to the point, I like talk to the. I even be talking to the coroner.
Mm-hmm.
My first conversation with the coroner. The coroner. This is the story that the police department gave the coroner. That the victim had to vomit because of a pill she took, and when she opened the door, she fell out. But the two police statements state that he said she jumped out.
So hold on. Did they do toxicology? Is that back yet?
Toxicology, no, because didn't nobody never do anything.
Well,
And
no, that's part of the autopsy though. They supposed to check, because if she took
hold
a
on,
bad
let me tell
pill,
you, the coroner didn't get her body until 9 days after this incident. Remember, she stayed in the hospital
oh yeah,
seven
yeah, yeah.
consecutive days.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And from my understanding, is the hospital procedures that they dispose of the blood after 3 days.
So they didn't test for drugs or nothing. Must be.
Right, pretty much. Because remember that wasn't their, you know. So, but
That's
still,
crazy.
again, that come back to the police department. If y'all would have came within the first 72, all of that could have possibly been saved.
Right, because now it's a question. And now I'm just thinking of arguments that say, now it's a question
Right,
of, how can you say that's not true about the pill if you don't have no evidence showing that she took it? See, if it would have been done like a test, then the coroner or the hospital could have been like, oh well, no, toxicology came back, wasn't nothing in her system.
right,
So now
right.
that's a lot.
But
That's
that was no
crazy.
communication from the police department to the hospital.
That's crazy.
Right, that is crazy. And like I just said, this is how y'all treat a death incident. That maybe be y'all how y'all create it or how y'all work a death investigation. That's just another case for y'all. That's my one child. That's
Right.
one of my children. I don't get another child. I don't get another child back. Y'all get another case. I don't get my child back.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that just goes to show protocol got to be tighter, because even if you get a bunch of cases, you still should work them the same. You already
Right.
know
Exactly. So what was
these
different
cases
about this
turn into
case?
trials. You know what I'm
Why
saying?
yeah, what is different about this case that any other cases y'all did?
Yeah, because
And
yeah,
like I
like
just said, if y'all couldn't do the forensics on the blood in the
so
car.
now it makes
Yeah,
sense why
yeah,
it's manslaughter. They don't have no
right,
evidence.
right, right. And from my understanding, that the same judge that had a conversation with the subject mama, those not because remember when you start telling people and talking to people, you don't
Mm-hmm.
know who the next person to talk to. And
Right.
doggone sure enough, after the bond hearing, the mama went and had a conversation. And I'll be doggone if that conversation ain't get back to her daddy's side of the family. The judge told her, you need to be finding you a good lawyer because they don't have that much evidence.
The judge told her that?
But remember, you telling people your business, not knowing who people talk to.
Right.
So that would make sense, or maybe even why he talked to her before they even went into the court.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. And while he was standing up there talking to her, he looked back through the little glass part of the door and looked directly in the victim's family face. Like, these people ain't nobody. We ain't nobody. This person ain't nobody. But like I told him, it'll be the death for me that I won't be heard, and it's nothing else I can do that will allow this to be as is.
Right. You got to speak up. Because, like, at the
I
end of the
am.
day, and that's why I'm glad, like I said, that's why I'm glad you reached out to me. Because a lot of people, they go the news route, which is cool. But as a blogger with a platform, hey, I want my voice heard just like the stories I talk about. So that's why
Right.
I'm like, yeah, let's get on here, get this done. And I'm going to post it today, so that it can start
Yes, ma'am.
circulating.